In this tutorial, we'll be taking a look at extending our global manager and seeing what else it can do for us. So let's start by taking a copy of tutorial 11 scene manager, and we'll name it as T12A because we might take a look at another one later as well. And so we'll call this UID and global manager, and let's just open that guy up. Right now in our global manager.gd, we have the function for switching the scenes, which is fine. And then whenever we go to switch the scenes, we have to call that function and then give it the file name of that level. That's fine and it works, but I want to change it so that I don't have to give it this every time, because things can change and I want to have a more robust way of doing things that can handle changes. I'll show you in 1 second. So let's go back to our global manager.gd, and we're going to declare a new variable here. We'll call it scenes. Basically, this is just a list of scenes, but we're going to structure it in a little bit differently. It's going to be something called a dictionary. A dictionary has these curly brackets. Okay, so start and end of the curly brackets. And then inside the curly brackets, we have a specific structure and punctuation that we need. And so I'm going to do it like this: dummy, colon, and then I'm going to get the file name of the dummy thing. So I could just come here and get the dummy, which is right here, like so, and that would work well. But I don't want to do that. I want to do it another way. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to this scene here in the file manager, and I'm going to copy the UID. What is the UID? Okay, so there it is there. That's what I copied. We'll put it in quotation marks, like so. And then I'm going to do it for all my other scenes. So here's my level 1. Okay, so we'll call it level 1 and get the UID. There it is. And we'll do it also for level 2. Get the UID. All right. Okay, so a couple of things to talk about here. Number 1, dictionary. This is what a dictionary has. So in a traditional dictionary, you have like the word that you look up, and then you have the definition. That's the exact same thing here. There's the word that you look up. There's the definition. There's the word that you look up. There's the definition. There's the word that you look up. There's the definition. So really, all it is having some keyword and getting some information associated with that. It's typical but not required that it has the quotation marks as strings. In this dictionary, all of our things, both the keys and the values, are strings. They separate the key and the value with a colon, and separate each pairing. Here's 1 pairing, here's 2 pairings, here's 3 pairings, separate it with a comma. And that is, again, all in the curly brackets. This dictionary is a very common way that we have of storing information in GD script. The UID. Why are we using the UID instead of just grabbing the name of the file and putting it there? It's because the UIDs will never change. What will change can change at least, the name of the files can change. Level.tscn, I actually want that to be called level 1, right? And so I might be able to change the name of that thing. There, I renamed it as level 1. And so up here it's called level 1, and I might rename my root node as level 1. Okay, so now it's called level 1. Well, in my menu.gd, this thing is pointing to level. Well, level no longer exists. And so if we actually try and run that, we should see that it doesn't work. Oh, the preload doesn't even work. Okay, we don't need these anymore. Let's just delete those. Run it again. level 1, and it breaks. The yellow level should still work because I haven't renamed it, and you can see that it does work. Okay, so, but that's where the beauty of the UIDs come in, because if I get, so there's my level 1. If I get the UID for this thing, copy UID, it should be exactly the same as the UID for that we had here when we copied it before. Let's just see. And you can see BF8QD, BF8QD, and so on. You can see it's exactly the same. And so the UIDs did not change even though my file name changed, which is pretty useful because, in fact, my file name was not very good here. And if I had to change it all manually, would have taken a long time. Okay, so how can I use this stuff in the code? Okay, so this variable is in my global manager.gd. So that means it's being loaded into every scene. So any scene can now use this variable. So where do I go? Menu. Okay, so instead of switch scene to this, what I can just do is I can go switch scene to scenes, and then I use a square bracket to get it, and I go like this, level 1. It's giving me an error, says scenes is not declared. I think that's because I, again, forgot to save it here. Control S to save, and scenes. I think this should work. We'll copy this one down here, except this is level 2. So how this works is that scenes is the name of my dictionary. So there's my dictionary. So this whole thing is the dictionary, right? From the beginning of the curly brackets to the end. And in square brackets here, I put the keyword. So the keyword is going to be either this or this or this, right? So that's the key of the dictionary. And if I put keyword of level 1, then it should give me this thing. So depending on what keyword I put is what value that it will return for me. Let's just give it a try. I did something wrong, which I didn't put quotation marks here. I need global manager here as well. All right, I think we're good now. Try that again. Level 1, there's level 1. Level 2, and here we are at level 2. And we'll just do that in level.gd as well. So this time we'll do it properly, and we'll say global manager dot scenes. Anytime that you're referencing a variable from the global manager, you need to put the name of that global manager dot whatever variable or function is being referenced, and level 2. And that should work as well. Level 1, go to the portal, and it brings me to level 2. Okay, so that's UID and dictionaries, very useful. I want to point out that dictionary is not the only kind of variable that we can make in the global. We can also have something like var coin equals 0, right? Or we can say var health, var health equals 0, and things like that. And we can use those, because what will happen is if we're moving from level to level, the instance of the player is new every time a level is created. So that means if you're moving from level to level, the health is going to get reset. If you have these variables just in the player script here, the health is going to get reset. It's not going to remember it when it goes to the next level. That's why we put it in a global manager like this, so it does get reset. In fact, let's go to one of our other tutorials, the one where we're keeping track of health, and we can see how it will work there. We could have done it here, but I don't want to create like the enemies and the health system again. So let's just go over to the other one. So I'm going to go to health, and we'll copy that. And we'll name that as T12B Health Global. And we'll just open that up. Alright, so this should have a health system. Yes, it does. Oh, but this one doesn't have the different levels, so we can't see that it will. Okay, let's just make another level real quick. 2D scene, and that has just the player there. Alright, and we'll call this as level 2. Okay, so that should work, I think. And let's also make the global. So we want type node, and we can just call it global. And we're gonna add the script first. And we're gonna add this to our project, globals, and click on the little folder. We want global.gd. There it is. And it's called global. That's fine. Add. Okay, global. Great. So here we are in global.gd, and we'll just say var. And let's just go check the variables here. So these ones here, in fact, we can just cut them from there, go to here, paste them in, and that's done. Okay, so we have max health and we have health. I think we probably need to put global here to indicate that this is referring to this. Actually, I'm not sure if we need that, but it doesn't hurt to have it. All we need to do now is make sure that we are referring to global every time we are changing the health. And so print health, let's print global.health. And here, open global dot. Here we would say global dot. And here is global. I'm just gonna copy that like so. Global. If you do this kind of in the first place, you don't have to deal with all this changing. I think that's all the places where we have either health or max health. Well, we'll see in a minute if it's going to break anything. Let's just save everything. And let's run it. Invalid access to property. Okay, maybe that's going to not have the global there. Maybe it'll just be like that. Okay, 100. Touch the enemy, 75. Touch it again, 50. Touch it again, 25. And, oh, I don't have a way to get to that other level. Let me just add a quick doorway in here. I'm going to do something a little bit different here. I've made this doorway without a sprite, so it's invisible. So this is something that you may want to do sometimes when you're changing levels. You don't want a portal or a doorway necessarily. You just want the player to enter an area and it goes to the next level. We can just do it without a sprite. Let's just add in the triggers. Body entered, connected to the level. Level doesn't have a script. Just add a script. Try that again. Body entered, connects to level. Okay, and in level GD we have this function, and we're just going to change it. But then we don't have our change scene stuff. We'll just do a very simple scene change thing. And let's just see here. So let's bring my health down to 75. Remember the invisible doorway is on my left. We'll go through it. And yeah, you couldn't see it. He fell off the screen. But you can see that it is still 75. So my health didn't get reset back to 100. The way it would if... I guess I should have shown you that too, though. But if we had done it without making it a global variable, it would have been reset to 100. All right, so I think that's enough for this video. Sorry that this demonstration of the health wasn't that great, but hopefully you kind of understand the idea of what we're trying to get at here. And yeah, that'll be it for this tutorial. We'll see you in the next one.